Hey, it's Johnny Marks. Thank you so much for checking out the Marks in the Morning podcast. Remember, you can listen to myself, Carrie Mack, and JP weekdays from 6 to 10 live on K92.3. Hey, it's Johnny Marks. Thank you so much for checking out the Marks in the Morning podcast. Remember, you can listen to myself, Carrie Mack, and JP weekdays from 6 to 10 live on K92.3.
¿Por qué esta Coca-Cola de McDonald's sabe tan bien? ¿Será la máquina? ¿Será el popote o el hielo? O quizás soy yo.
No sé, Diego, pero vámonos, ¿no? El ¿por qué esto sabe tan bien deal? Un refresco de cualquier tamaño por $1, solo en el $1, $2, $3 menu de McDonald's. Precios y participación pueden variar, no se puede combinar con cualquier otra oferta o combo mío. Coca-Cola es una marca registrada de The Coca-Cola Company.
Shine. Get out of bed. It's time to get your day started. This is Marks in the Morning on K92.3.
Can I get a countdown?
3, 2, 1. Yeah, good morning. It is Wednesday. It is Hump Day, right in that middle of the week. And it's the 17th of February for keeping score. I'm Johnny Marks. She's Carrie Mack. We're in the Christie Door Company studios in downtown Waterloo, where it's cold, but warming up a little bit. 12 below right now, wind chill 14 below. So we're almost even wind chill versus actual temperature. How are you, Carrie Mack?
I'm good. When I left this morning, it was -5, and I actually said to myself, not too bad.
Not too bad, right? Isn't that a sad state of affairs? The whole country in a deep freeze. But I don't know. I do feel for the people in Texas, but it's going to be in the 60s next week. It'll still only be in the 30s here, which is average, so we can't complain too loud, but still don't feel terrible. I feel bad, but not terrible. I'm like in between. You know, it's like when people, there's only two answers to the question, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. There's only two. I'm great or I'm fine. I'm fine is a catch-all for life sucks, I'm terrible, and great means you're probably doing very well. So when a stranger asks you how you're doing, if you say, I'm terrible, that's not what they want. They want to ask you, boom, and move on. So if you're at Hy-Vee and the cashier is saying, so, how are you? And you say, I'm fine. That means you're probably not, but the cashier's going to say, good, that's great. Some weather we're having, right? And move on. If you say, oh, terrible, then the cashier's obligated to go into it. The customers behind you are obligated to poke you and go, hurry up. It's like writing a check. All right, it's Marks in the Morning. Carrie, how are you?
I'm fine.
I'm doing all right. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I am too. I'm great. I'll tell you why. As the show rolls on, because I don't want to start the show with that, but I do want to give you this little bit of information. We have some Girl Scout cookies to give away on the show today. We also have a lot more coming up on the K92.3, not only Marks in the Morning, but on our app, including our Student of the Week for this week. Super cute. I'm really excited for you to meet them. We'll do that. We'll get there. It's Marks in the Morning, 10 minutes after 6 o'clock on still a chilly Wednesday morning. It's the wind chill that'll get you 14 below, the actual temperature hovering around 0, and it's early yet, so we'll only go up from here. I'm Johnny Marks. This is Carrie Mack. Carrie Mack, any big plans for spring or summer since this is your first one in the Cedar Valley? Do you have plans to, either check something out or travel? I know we still have this COVID cloud, but what do you think, Ann?
I really want to go to Nashville.
Nashville would be fun, yeah?
Yeah, I was supposed to go there for spring break with some friends, but then the tornadoes happened, and then something called COVID happened.
They kind of got hit one right after the other with those two. Nashville's not too far from the Cedar Valley. If you fly out of Cedar Rapids, it's like an hour and a half flight. Cedar Rapids is about an hour drive, a little less from here. So, all total, it's not bad at all. And I don't know what flights cost. I couldn't even quote you. But that would be a fun spring/summer. A little bit warmer there. They're ever so slightly to our south. So if you go there and say in April, it's probably going to be more like, our June weather, kind of hit or miss, I'm sure. That would be a fun trip. In and around this area, we've been talking about this on the show. Carrie's not really a bike rider, and this is a huge bike area. The whole state of Iowa is a big bike state, but especially here with the Cedar, with the river and all the bike routes and the trails and the old, train tracks converted into bike routes. I want to get you out. I think it'd be fun. I need a bike buddy. My wife doesn't bike. That's not her thing. It's just not. And that's cool. I totally get it. Farming is not my thing, but that's her thing, right? So you all have your own thing. And most of the people here, JP, who will be on the show with us later, not really huge into biking. He's got kids, so he's a little busy. I need a bike buddy. And so, because you live in Cedar Falls, a couple miles from me, you throw your bike in the back of the car, or I throw mine and come to you, or you come to me, because we're both really close to trailheads. I would love for you and me to be bike buddies.
Is that the only reason you want me to learn how to ride a bike?
That and the social media. I think it would be a hilarious video. No, I think you would enjoy it. And I'm offering you, I know you obviously don't have a bike if you don't ride a bike. You can get one for cheap, or you can use my wife. She doesn't have, it's a one speed. It's a single speed. It doesn't
like
have,
a beer?
Yes, like the beer. That's kind of where they named it. But it doesn't have all the gears and all the bells and whistles. It's a good starter bike. And then you could graduate when you fall in love with biking to something else. You can even get a Walmart special for like $80.
Okay, I like cycling. I used to do a lot of cycling, not like unicycling, but the exercise thing.
Yeah, on an exercise bike.
Yeah, on an exercise bike. So I feel like I would like it. My problem is I get very warm very easily, so I feel like I just start sweating after like 15 minutes. Also,
that's okay.
What's the sort of social situation? Do we talk while we're biking?
That's a very good question.
Or do we just look at each other from afar and nod?
I think it's hard to ride side by side because you'll have oncoming bikers / walkers,
/ traffic.
So, sometimes. I would go on a bike path. I would start. Yes, we have a lot of roads here now, including downtown Waterloo, where you do have a carved out bike path on the street. You definitely would have to be more advanced to ride side by side. You'll see it, but those are some hardcore bikers with the outfits and everything. They look like they're wearing the spandex net. We're not there. Well, let's start slow. We'll go on a trail.
Okay.
But down by the river, there's a trail very close to where I live. I think it's Lookout Park. Very, very nice trail. I biked it a couple times last year and the year before since we've been here. Beautiful, mostly flat, and a pretty good view, depending on the time of the season. The more the trees fill in, you won't see the river, but still very nice view. You throw on some bug spray.
Ugh.
It's
outdoors,
gross. It's going to be cooler because you're not going to have the direct sunlight once the trees fill in, so you're not going to have to worry much about sweating. But who cares if you sweat? You're doing something physical. It's not like you're just walking up 2 flights of stairs.
Can I pitch something to you?
Yes, let's hear it.
Can we get one of those bikes that have the 2 seats? So you can
tandem bike?
Yes, so you can do the majority of the work, and I can just take photos in the back, or get the really good photo for you for your Instagram.
I'll be biking up front. I'll go, what's that smell? And then, boop. And I knew it. You're making mimosas back there. I knew I smelled orange juice. And I heard a champagne pop. You'll say, keep it up. Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
I'm eating a burger in the back.
Why'd we bike by McDonald's? Now I know. All right, we'll work on our plan. But I'm throwing it out there just in case you bite. You can use my wife's bike. Hannah won't care. Trust me. We don't even have to tell her. She won't even notice it's gone. Except in the winter when we're trying to move it out of the way to put the snowblower in the garage. So you can use her bike. We'll get some air. We have a bike pump at home, so we don't need to, go to the Quick Start to get our bikes filled up. And we'll hit the trail. And if you hate it, you never have to do it again. But at least need a bike buddy.
Okay.
All right, good. It's settled. It's Marks in the Morning. 5 minutes away. Random facts. Why is it that Iowans failed dry January? We're getting some statistics on dry January, and it didn't go well. Duh. I'll tell you. And in fact, so a question for you. Did you participate in dry January? If you're laughing at me right now, just remember a lot of people did. I know, Carrie, you didn't because you and I exchanged beers and wine. You came over. You visited us.
Yeah.
My wife and I, Hannah, last month, and we partook in some adult beverages. So I'm not asking you specifically, but I have one friend on social media who did, and she actually made it through. Chances are if you did try dry January, though, you ended up not succeeding. We're now learning some stats about dry January, and wouldn't you know, over 55% of people blew it trying to make it through the month. However, our top reason for not succeeding in dry January was, what do you think? I'll give you a clue. It has nothing to do with the pandemic, and it's kind of a stupid excuse. Now, I'm not blaming anybody who fell off the dry January bandwagon, but this is a stupid excuse. What do you think?
Because it was cold.
No, that's a good guess. The weather never showed up here on the survey, but the number one answer was, I forgot I was doing dry January. An amazing 44% of those who couldn't go 31 days simply forgot, which is so strange.
I totally understand that because during Lent, I sometimes forget that I'm giving up something, and then I have it in my mouth, like potato chips or something. And then I'm like, I gave this up. Oh, no.
Yeah, well, apparently others are in the same boat. Here's the thing, though. Coming out of Christmas / New Year's, if you really wanted to do dry January and you still had hooch in your house, and booze keeps fine, right? It doesn't go bad. Why not lock it up somewhere and put it away where you know you can't get to it so you don't, quote unquote, forget? Usually you forget things when you're drunk, not before. So, anyways, that was the number one reason. Number 2 was I wanted to have a drink with a friend or coworker. Number 3, I went on a date. Number 4, I had a bad day at work. Number 5, I wanted to relax. And number 6, I got stressed out watching the news. All understandable except for the first one. I just don't get how you forget you've set out to do something and then it happens. You're like, as you're sitting there with your wine on January 20th. I know I'm forgetting something. This is a good Merlot. Anyway, there you go. Read more. There's more stats behind it on the K92.3 app. It's the first story on there. We'll be back in a couple minutes with news, weather, and sports. And if you're looking for some more upbeat news, the weather's going to get a lot better. Rebecca will tell us more coming up. 2-3. We are the Cedar Valley's number one for new country. Earlier in the show, I was trying to persuade Carrie to be my bike buddy this spring. Probably in about 2 months. Let's be optimistic here. About 2 months. We should be able to hit the trails. And I'm not talking about snowmobiling. I'm talking about biking. And if you don't want to, I think this caller would. Hello.
Well, I've been looking for a biking buddy. I need to get back into shape. I'm too fat.
I hear you, man. I will talk to you. Carrie left the room, but I'll ask her when she comes back if she wants to be your biking buddy.
I'd be both of you guys' biking buddy.
There we go. All right. Hit me up on social media.
What's the name?
You just, DJ Johnny Marks, all one word on Instagram.
I don't have Instagram. I just have Facebook.
Oh, all right. Well, it's just Johnny Marks. Just punch that in. I should be the first one to come up.
All right, Johnny Marks?
Yes.
All right.
What's your name?
Dirk.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, let me know, and we'll figure something out this spring.
All right.
Thanks, Dirk. I appreciate it. Carrie just coming back in the room. So Dirk and I just had a conversation. Did you hear any of that?
I heard the tail end of it. I heard he's following you on social media.
Yeah, I appreciate Dirk calling because I got to give out my social media in a more organic fashion. But, yeah, he's following me. He's going to be my bike buddy. So if you won't, I'll at least have somebody. It's Marks in the morning. But you join us. We can have 3 people as bike buddies. We'll start a club.
Oh, no.
It'll be the K Country Bike Club. That had a nice ring until the part with the bike.
K Country Club. I like that.
That's true. Well, we already call our VIPs that get our newsletter the K Country Club. But if you throw the word bike in there, it just gets all... We'll figure something out. All right, first we have to get you on a bike. That'll be the hard part. Let's get to Carrie's Corner here on Marks in the Morning. Educational.
Intelligence. Aptitude. Where's my thesaurus? Perseverance. This is Carrie's Corner on Marks in the Morning.
What you got for us today, Carrie?
So this word I have never heard of. I've never used. I don't know if I will ever use it again, but it's really fun.
This is exactly how every teacher should start their lesson.
So this math problem, you'll never use it. You'll never need it. I'm just teaching it so you can pass the exam, okay?
So algebra, let's be honest.
Let's watch a movie, okay?
Okay, what's the word?
I had to look up the pronunciation.
Yeah.
And I have it right in front of me. It's Nudiastertion. Nudiastertion.
Nudiastertion?
Yes.
Sounds like somebody took 2 or 3 words and drunkenly smooshed them together.
Nudiastertion?
Yes. Actually, part of that sounds like a sugar substitute. Give me the word, if you could, in a sentence, and we'll see what we can do with it.
I ordered I placed an order on Amazon that nudustrian morning and was not expecting it to arrive until next week.
Well, that didn't help at all.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
I placed an order on Amazon that nudiastertion morning.
Yeah, I know.
What the heck?
Nudiastertion.
It sounds...
I sound super sober until I say nudiastertion.
You're just... I tell you... I'm going to break with tradition and just have you give me the definition rather than even try to give you one because I have no idea. Nothing entered my head other than what in the heck does this word mean?
Okay. It's an adjective.
All right.
And it means of or relating to the day before yesterday.
What the heck? Who would ever need that? Day before yesterday is a lot of words, but it's easier to say than nudiastertion.
Nudiastertion. It sounds like Swedish, German, and... I don't know.
And drunk.
Yeah.
Midwestern drunk. All right. Nudiastertia is the
Nudiastertion.
Nudiastertion. Oh, it ends with an N.
Nudiastertion.
Okay, I'm not even going to try. Nudiastertion.
Monday was the Nudiastertion day. So Monday was the day before yesterday.
Okay. So it's a fancy way to say 2 days ago.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Now we know. Education at its finest. It's Marks in the Morning. We'll be back. I got an update for you on the ACMs. They're moving again, but this time they're actually going back to a familiar place. So I'll tell you what the future holds for the ACM Awards coming up. It's Marks in the Morning. It is 6:43.
I'm Carrie Underwood.
Might be worth checking out. It's Marks in the Morning at 7-Eleven. The mighty K92.3. Do you have any 7-Elevens back home? I just, as I said that time, I realized that's kind of an antiquated gas station / convenience store. We don't have those here. Do you have any of those?
Not in Pennsylvania, but in New York City when I would go almost all the time during the summer.
You'd have them?
They'd be on like almost every street corner, especially when you first would get in, like into Times Square. There's like so many of them.
I wouldn't trade what we've got here for anything. I haven't been to a 7-Eleven since like maybe 20 years ago in Las Vegas. I dropped into one to have a slushy or a squishy or whatever they're called, and I didn't think it was that good, but you always hear about them. I would take a Quick Start or a Casey's any day over a 7-Eleven. I just don't know. Do they have pizza? What do they have? I guess you said you didn't really go there.
They would always be super sketchy. There would be several people outside smoking, chain smoking. My mom would be like, "You got a light?" And I'd be like, "Keep moving, Kath." They would have like slush puppies. They wouldn't have like hot food, but they would have like those little like kind of like the beef things on a stick. That
that spins and you don't know what might be in there, but you have a pretty good idea it'll kill you. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
See, and you walk into like a Quick Start and they have all the better food. I don't know that I would miss that. I don't know. We used to, when I was growing up in Minnesota, we had 7-Elevens everywhere and they all disappeared. So I haven't been into one, like I said, probably about 20 years. All right, it's Marks in the Morning. It's 7:12 now. We've talked ourselves out of 7-Eleven. Question for you. I was watching Netflix the other day, and I revisited an old Office episode, and it made me think of this. Yeah, and then, not Netflix. I'm sorry, Peacock, because Office left Netflix. I'm still mad about that. But we got a Peacock subscription because I'm part of the WWE network.
The Wii network.
Yeah. The Wii. And I was watching the one where Michael Scott gave CPR to the dummy, and they were training him to pump along to the Bee Gees song "Staying Alive." Have you seen that episode? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Supposedly this song is just at the right beat, which is ironic because if you're giving CPR, you really want them to stay alive, right? But this part here, if God forbid you went down in a heap, I would have to put that on. I'd have to pause and put that on before I gave you CPR.
Even worse, I found out that it's also a similar beat to Another One Bites the Dust. Another One Bites the Dust. Maybe not the best song.
Another great song to try to revive somebody to.
Another One Bites the Carol!
Anyway, it made me think. I didn't know that prior to the Office. That wasn't the first time I'd seen that, but we were revisiting old episodes. I realized I learned that from The Office. So I was thinking, is there something you learned from watching TV or a movie? Is there an actual fact? Because we learn a lot of BS too, but is there something you actually learned from watching TV?
Well, I feel like for me and a lot of other women and girls, we learn a lot about fashion and how to do certain things with our hair. I also learned certain things about makeup from watching TV too.
Really?
Yeah. I learned what not to do. A lot of the time they'd be like, "Oh, she has glasses and frizzy hair. She's ugly." So I learned that that's what it means to be ugly.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. But there were a lot of interesting beauty tips that I learned along the way.
Okay. So you've learned some things. Do you have anything specific though, like from a show or a movie?
Oh, actually, kind of going back to something we said on the promo, I learned that sharks can smell blood. So from Jaws. So I would always freak out whenever I would get a cut in the water. I only learned that from Jaws.
Really?
That they can smell blood. And also, I was terrified of sharks because of that movie.
Yeah. So it wasn't Sharknado for you. It was Jaws.
Yeah, it was Jaws.
It's a giant rubber shark that's not real.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And the fact that they can smell your blood in the water, that's terrifying, Johnny.
That's how they hunt, though.
Yeah, I learned that from Jaws.
Can't you smell beef at a grocery store?
No, because it's in plastic.
I know, I'm kidding.
My skin is just plastic wrap for my blood.
I want to know something you learned from watching TV or a movie. We'll post this on social media, or you can chime in. You can tap the message button, or you can give us a call, 833-4985. What is something that you learned from, watching something in entertainment? let us know. And I'd love to hear. I don't remember where I heard it, but I also remember learning that you can use cat litter to get yourself unstuck if your car's kind of sliding on snow or ice, or you've gone partially into a ditch. If you've gone all the way into the ditch, you're screwed. You'll need to call AAA or whatever. But if you're just kind of half stuck, you throw down some kitty litter, or if you're in your driveway, and we always have it on hand, and you can get unstuck.
Wow.
Rather than going out there and shoveling your heart out, although that might work too.
I learned that from you.
You go. You just learned something from me, and I learned it from something I can't remember. Let us know. Chime in. Got to give a shout out first to intern Skyscraper, and then to Ashley K on our K92.3 Facebook page. I love your middle name, Ashley. The show I was thinking of was That 70s Show, where I was talking about the kitty litter. I should have thought of that kitty litter. The scene when he sees his dad as a ghost. Blah blah blah. I couldn't think of it, but thank you to everybody who pointed that out. Now I remember. And you can chime in, too, if something you learned from a TV show on our K92.3 Facebook page. Carrie Mack and I normally getting ready for Gender Bender, and we mentioned earlier in the week that this week we do not have a Gender Bender. Last-minute change from one of our sponsors. That's cool. We'll be back Monday with Gender Bender. But we do have, I was just down the hall a couple minutes ago, we have a couple more boxes from JP's Girl Scout cookie stash. And I thought we'd play a game this morning on the show. You and Skyscraper will play, and then I'll bring a listener on to play, and you can win a couple of boxes of cookies. Before we play that, we'll play in about 10 minutes. Do you know the website Cameo? Are you familiar with Cameo? You both are?
I've bought one for someone, actually.
Have you?
Yeah.
Give me the story quickly.
So a friend of mine was, the joke was we were obsessed with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we were obsessed with Blake Bortles.
They are kind of a joke.
But it's also because it's from one of our favorite TV shows, The Good Place. So for Christmas, I got him for Secret Santa, and I got him a video of a Jacksonville Jaguars guy wishing him a Merry Christmas, and then at the end he just shouts, Bortles.
Oh, their former quarterback.
Yeah.
Blake Bortles. He was one of my fantasy quarterbacks for a while. Pretty good guy. All right. So why didn't you just get Blake Bortles to do the Cameo, or was he not on there?
He wasn't on there because he's high tier. This guy was like maybe $15.
Not anymore. He's not.
Oh no.
Not anymore. Okay. So that's cool. So if you don't understand, Cameo is where you go. I don't know what the website is, probably .com. You go there and you pick celebrities. There's a lot of country singers on there. And for whatever the cost, they will send a video message to whoever. You get a copy too. I sent, if you're a wrestling fan, I had Kurt Angle do a WrestleMania invitation for a WrestleMania party about 6-7 years ago. And he did a great job. He called out all my friends. He's like, you better get your butts down to Johnny's WrestleMania party, blah, blah, blah. I still have it somewhere. And he was like $35. But of course, once you've paid for it, you own it, you can do whatever you want. Anyways, I'm going to give you a Cameo celebrity, and you have to tell me what you think the cost is. Will play like Cameo Price is Right, we'll call it. We'll do it in just a few minutes here on the show. So we'll let these two play, intern Skyscraper and Carrie Mack, and then you will play against which of the two of them does better for a chance to win some Girl Scout cookies. We'll tell you more about it here coming up. Mark, say in the morning, we're going to play a game called Cameo Price is Right. It's not not a real game that you'll find on Price is Right, but it sure should be because it's kind of an interesting concept here. I'm just thumbing through as we speak. I'm thumbing through all the country stars on Cameo. They have won a Toby Keith impersonator for $30.
Worth every single penny, I hear.
What a rip. Why, the real Toby Keith's not on there, but you can get Mike as Toby Keith for $30. Anyways, Cameo is where you get your favorite stars to wish, a happy birthday or congratulations and a personalized greeting, and you pay for it. But they do a video, and it's kind of fun. And whoever is the closest on the actual cost of the Cameo performer will be the winner. We're going to go Price is Right rules. You can't go over. Are you two ready? Oh, by the way, intern Skyscraper isn't usually on the show verbally with us. He's behind the scenes. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Good to have you here. All right, here we go. Let's start out with a guy who used to have a chicken restaurant right here in the state of Iowa, hip-hop star Flava Flav.
Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
Building. Yeah.
Okay, Flava Flav. How much for a Flava Flav cameo? Intern Skyscraper, that's what we call him. His name is Aaron. What do you think? You go first.
I'm going to say $100.
$100.
Because he's not completely irrelevant anymore, but he's not I don't know what he is.
Well, let's face it.
I don't know
yeah,
what he
it's a good point. We don't really know how to classify him. Celebrity on the cup. Okay, $100. Remember, you can't go over, so Aaron says 100. What do you think, Carrie Mack? You have the benefit of going second.
I think meme culture right now is very big, and I feel like Flava Flav is just a walking, talking meme. So I have to say 155.
You are a lot closer. It's $400 for Flava Flav. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Star of the Rush Hour movies, Jackie Chan's sidekick in those movies. He's a very funny guy. His name is Chris Tucker.
What's up, man? This is Chris Tucker. Congratulations, man, on the Financial Advisor Award.
All right, that's him wishing somebody named Preston congratulations. By the way, if you ever go to Cameo and you see some of their demos, like what I just pulled up, if you happen to know somebody with that same name who fits the description, you can just take that one.
Oh, that's for free. That's brilliant, Johnny.
All right. Flava Flav was $400. What do you think Chris Tucker will cost for a cameo? Carrie, you were closer, so you get to go first.
It's just the $400 really threw me.
Yeah.
So, should I go? I'm going to go higher. I'm going to say this was $200.
All right, so Chris Tucker, $200. Intern Skyscraper, what do you think?
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to say $201.
You are much closer. The answer is $500.
What?
For Chris Tucker. $500. Think of all the great things you could do. Or you could get a 20-second greeting from an actor who hasn't been in a movie in 10 years. Okay, let's move on.
It's worth every single penny, Johnny. That's what I'm getting you for your birthday.
He has a car payment. We all do. All right, let's move on to the next one. Former teen superstar Lindsay Lohan. What do you think? Let's get Lindsay.
I want to wish you well. I hope all is going well for you and you're having a great year so far.
Yeah, there she is. She's Lindsay Lohan. She has a beautiful voice. I really hope that she becomes super famous again. But in the meanwhile, how much would it cost for a cameo from Lindsay Lohan? Skyscraper, you were closer on the last one, and you got the point. What do you think?
She's going to be expensive. She's going to be like $750.
$750. Okay, yeah. $750. Carrie Mack, what's your guess?
Oh, jeez. I'm just a fan of the Lohan, so I have to say $850.
You've both overbid.
What?
Lindsay Lohan is $375. She is lower than Flava Flav, lower than Chris Tucker. I apologize, but you were incorrect. All right, you know what? We're going to move along here to you. 833-4985. 833-4985. If you want to win, what do we got? We got a couple boxes of Girl Scout cookies. And you can play against Intern Skyscraper. How's that sound? Even though you two technically tied on the last one. Skyscraper was the last one to get a point. Hi, good morning. Who's this?
This is Kennedy.
Hey, Kennedy. How are you today?
Good.
I think your daughter was our Student of the Week last week.
That was my niece.
That was your niece? Oh, okay. Here's a confession, Kennedy, and I'm going to say it on the radio. The certificate will say that you were our Student of the Week. So congratulations, Kennedy. We love Kennedy. All right, Kennedy, you're going to play against Intern Skyscraper. I'm going to give you a cameo, and you tell me the cost. But because you're the player, we're going to let Skyscraper go first because I think the advantage goes to number 2. So, Steve Harvey.
Hey, look, I'm Steve Harvey, and I want to congratulate some of you team members over at Ernest, okay?
I don't know what Ernest is, but that's his cameo demo. Steve Harvey, of course, hosts Family Feud. He hosted something before the Super Bowl. He's very relevant. How much would it cost for a personalized cameo in Intern Skyscraper?
He's got to be more than Lindsay Lohan, I think.
Yeah.
$525.
$525. Kennedy, what's your guess?
I'll go $600.
Kennedy's closer. The actual retail price, $750 for Steve Harvey. And I just want to play this one more time. That's just fun. All right. Congratulations, Kennedy. You were a lot closer. And I know you have $750 just burning a hole in your pocket. After all, don't we all? You can get Steve Harvey to send a 30-second video to a friend of yours for that price. Hang on the line, okay, Kennedy?
All right.
Don't hang up. We'll get your info. And she's our Student of the Week. Actually, her niece was. So congratulations. That was Ellie from last week. Remember her? Super cute. All right. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. I need you to help me out with something, Carrie. I need you to either back me up or tell me I'm crazy. You're good at both, sometimes in the same conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So Hannah and I are talking about eventual baby names. And it's been I don't want to say a sore subject, but obviously names are important because your child, whether they grow to love it or not, they're stuck with it for the rest of their life. So we were talking about girls' names. Nobody's pregnant, so, it's not
You're not pregnant.
I might be, but She's certainly not. So this isn't like an immediate need, but it's one of those, kind of spitballing at conversations. And I was bringing up names from the past that I thought should make a comeback. And she just rolled her eyes and wouldn't even give me the time of day. For example, a name that I was thinking of that I thought was cute for a girl was Dot, D-O-T, which I think is short for Dottie.
Dorothy, maybe.
Or Dorothy, perhaps. And she said that's an old lady's name. I said, no, everything that was once old is new again at some point. Look at the name Bella after that silly, what is it, Edward Cullen. What was that?
Twilight.
Thank you. Bella's a beautiful name, but we got a ton of Bellas after people who kind of came of age with that series and then the movies eventually started naming their daughters Bella. That name will get old, but then it'll probably have a resurgence at some point. And then I threw out some other names, like Edith.
Carrie Jr.
No, that didn't come up. Eunice.
Oh, no, Eunice.
Exactly
no.
what her reaction was to all these. Phyllis is a hard one. I feel like there's still a lot of women named Phyllis that are, maybe in their 50s or 60s, and that's great, but maybe that one's not quite as retired. My great-grandmother's name was Ethel.
I like that name, especially if it has some significance to you.
And it would through my great-grandma, who I did meet and have memories of. She was less skeptical of that. But what do you think? Do you like the concept? You can do the same thing for a boy. Who names their kid Henry anymore? Or Eugene, for example.
Eugene.
Eugene is a bad example because I wouldn't want to name a kid Eugene. But, there's old men's names, boys' names, too.
Yeah. The problem with naming babies sometimes is that there are trends, kind of like what you were saying about Bella and Twilight.
Yeah.
That were really popular at some point, and then they get super old, or a lot of people name the kid and it's a super common name. I personally love old lady names. My cousin named her daughter Ruthie.
Ruthie's a pretty name.
Yeah, it's a beautiful name. And the child is a child.
Is it Ruthie, or is that like the nickname for Ruth?
That's the nickname for Ruth.
Okay, so it's Ruth, legal name on the birth certificate, but obviously she'll grow up as a Ruthie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that sweet, though?
I think it's a cute name. I hadn't even thought of that one.
We were talking about this on air. I love the Royals, and I love Meghan and Harry's son's name, Archie. I think it's such a cute, old but young name.
And that's probably short for Archibald?
No, that's the entire name.
It's just Archie?
Yeah, just Archie.
Now, Archie was made a comeback with Archie, what was that, Riverdale, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I get it. It's still a throwback name.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fear, too. You give a daughter a name like Dot or Dottie, or a boy a name like Henry or something, and then pop culture might cling on to it for something, and then you're SOL. Because forever your child, well, assuming it stays relevant, your child stuck with that. Like, nobody could name their son Homer, right? Or Bart. Because of The Simpsons, because it's still on, it's still popular.
No one can name their kid Alexa anymore.
Or Siri.
Oh.
These popular names. Alexa, though, that show S Creek, whenever they would say Alexis, ours would, the little thing would spin with the lights. It wouldn't go off, but it would spin. Anyway.
They're like, I'm ready. I'm getting ready. I hear the owl.
Yeah, she heard the first part. Anyway, I was just curious to get your thoughts. It sounds like you like some of the vintage names.
I like vintage names. I don't like Eunice. Eunice.
Okay, Eunice was a bad example. I've just throwing out some of the ones we were talking about.
My thing is, as long as you spell it in a decent way, we're fine. Because I hate people who spell baby names that are super simple with 3 Y's or 5 Q's or something like that.
Well, I was going to spell Dot, D-U, with the umlaut over it, T. But since you've mentioned it, I probably won't.
I hate that because that's a trend right now. Naming your child a regular name and then spelling it a weird way.
Sure,
yeah.
No, I know. I get it. But
yeah, you have 2 Q's in your name.
Yes,
Johnny.
I do. Yes, Johnny QQ.
Johnny QQ. Johnny's QQ for Cocoa Puffs.
I'd love to get your thoughts. Do you like old-fashioned names or not? Shoot me a message on the K92.3 app if you have something to say. Maybe you named your child with what you would call a throwback name. Mm-hmm. And it may have significance. There's a lot of people that have, like I just told you about Ethel. There are a lot of people that have I'm not trying to put anybody's name down, but an old person name because it's significant.
Yeah, that I'm fine with. if you just pull it out of a random place, I think it's odd. What baby name do you like the best?
Of the ones I gave you, I really like Dot or Dottie.
I can see a little Dottie Marks.
Yes, but I don't like Dorothy. I didn't realize it was short for that. That name I don't care much for. Mm-hmm. First of all, I'll always associate it myself with the Wizard of Oz. And I can't get over that. But I didn't even think of it as being short for Dorothy.
Or the Golden Girls.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't think of that either. And I'm more in favor of an older sounding name for a girl than a boy.
Oh, really?
I couldn't think of very many that I liked for a boy. Like Eugene, I don't really much care for. Yeah. Henry would be okay, but I don't feel like that's such a vintage name.
Name it Henrie.
QQ.
QQ for Cocoa Puffs.
Cal. Is that an older name? I like the name
No,
Cal.
I like Cal. It's a very cool name. How would you spell it, though? That's my big thing.
C-A with an umlaut L.
Johnny, I hate it.
No, C-A-L.
Okay, that's cool. Again, Carrie Jr., still available. You can spell it however you want.
Yeah. Every time I looked at little baby Carrie, I would think of big baby Carrie over here.
She's crying about her Panera Bread for some reason.
I know. I'd have to see the baby crying in the morning and then you crying every morning when I come in.
Which would be worse.
Spilled my water. There's more of it in the sink. Actual conversation. All right. It Sparks in the morning. I'd love to get your thoughts. Some of these names, 80 to 100 years old, probably. But I still think there's some value in there. What about Mabel?
Mabel?
Mabel's a pretty name.
Maybe a middle name.
Yeah, then you're just throwing a lot of things in there because it maybe already has to have a middle name. We already have a middle name for our child.
Oh,
so that would
it's Carrie, right? I'm still gonna
Carrie Jr. Apparently, if it's a first and middle name,
you can call her KK.
Just so you know, I'm spelling it K-E with an umlaut R-R-I. In the morning, this is K92.3, the Cedar Valley's #1 for New Country, talking about older baby names that may be kind of gone. We were talking about the name Henry, right? It's K92.3. Hello?
Hi, I just had to call and say that I named my son Henry.
Henry, okay. Did it have family significance? I think that's a cool name. Did it? Where'd you get it?
I actually just picked it out randomly, and then it ended up being my husband's great-grandfather's name that lived on the same property that we live on now.
That is super cool. How old is your son now?
He's 3.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that's a cool name. I think that the cool thing about a name like Henry is it's the full name, but it's a short name. You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get tripped up. People call me John, and that's not my name is Johnny. But you won't have any
apparently
confusion.
Hank is short for Henry, I've heard.
Oh, is it? Hank?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I didn't know that. That's cool, too. That's really neat. What's your first name?
Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer, thanks so much for your call. I appreciate it.
Yep. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much. Do you have, so Henry, that's a cool name. You are a big fan of royalty and all that, Carrie.
Yes.
Do you have a name, I know you're in a different point in your life, but do you have a name that pops into your head that you're going to pitch one day when that day comes, or no?
I really do like the name Archie, but I don't want to steal from two of my favorite royals, Harry and Meghan. I honestly love the name Meghan.
Meghan. Well, that's another royal name. Meghan.
Yeah.
That's her first.
She's the Duchess of Sussex. But I feel like there are certain people that I can always tell if they're a Meghan because I always love anyone named Meghan.
You have a way to tell if somebody's named Meghan.
Not a way to tell, but I always vibe really well with a Meghan.
Okay. I have a thing with the name Ashley.
Oh.
Everybody named Ashley is either blonde or had dabbled in blonde hair or was a cheerleader in high school. Or both.
Ashley, does it depend on the spelling of the name?
No. Unless Ashley can also is a unisex name.
Yeah, I think Ashley as a guy's name is really cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's a cool name, period. But I'm just saying, always with my Ashley theory. I don't put it into play very much anymore, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Sparks in the morning. Hello.
Yeah, about the names.
Yeah.
I had a boy and I wanted to name him Court.
Okay, Court.
Q-U-I-R-T, Court.
Court. Oh, okay.
Oh, Q-U.
Dare I ask, why is that?
Because, John Wayne, in one of his movies, his name was Court.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I didn't realize
and
that.
It was original.
That is really original. I honestly had never even heard that. Do you remember off the top of your head what the movie was, the John Wayne, where he played Court?
Oh, my God. It's an old one, but it's also the thing that you use to make a horse go faster.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so it has a double meaning. That's really cool. What's your name?
Yeah. My name's Jeff.
Jeff, thank you so much for your call. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a great day. Names with significance are pretty cool. That way, if you named your son Court, they guarantee you people wouldn't have the same name.
I feel like, not going to take away from that spelling, but I feel like C-O-R-T would be a really cool name, Court.
Spell it again?
C-O-R-T.
Okay.
Court.
Because there's also court like...
Courtney.
Yeah. And a basketball court where you go when you're in trouble court.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Court's going to court today. Not again.
That's what I was thinking. But court, that's a hard one, would be different.
My thing is, because I've never had to think about this, do parents kind of worry that if they name their kid like a weird name that their kid's going to be made fun of or it's not going to be pronounceable?
Clearly not. You remember being in school and there was always the poor kid that got picked on because of their name? Clearly their parents weren't thinking. I think some do, sure, but I don't think all of them do. My thought, I always go back to when the little boy or girl is sitting in school, first, second grade, early in their little school career, and the teacher is blurting out names either every morning for roll call or that first time that they're all together. Is the teacher going to be able to say it? And will the mispronunciation, if there's any mispronunciations, will it make everybody giggle?
Oh,
That's what I would think. But if you go with a name like an Ethel or a Henry or an Edith or one of those, they'll have no problem.
I want to spell my child's name in a very boring way, but have it be pronounced something completely different. Like it's Bob, but it's actually like John or something like that. I feel
Horst. Horst. Okay. You work on that, and then I will definitely not pick on your child.
Okay, thank you.
But his mom or her mom, definitely. All right, it's Marks in the Morning. We'll be back in a couple minutes with a look at local news and weather and music from Dylan Scott coming up next. We've gotten a lot of really cool baby names people are sending us on the K92.3 app. We had listener Samantha write in and say, my girls are Madeline and Abigail, and it's the way she spelled Madeline I thought was pretty cool. She said if we had a boy, he would have been Dean. But this listener says, don't hate. I have twins. One is named Damien and the other one is named Ryken. R-Y-K-E-N. Or actually, it's R-Y-K-Y-N, but it's pronounced like Ryken, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch more. So please continue to send those in if you want. We were just talking about older sounding baby names that I was pitching to my wife yesterday, actually, and she was more or less telling me I was crazy.
I feel like if you pitched it Shark Tank style, it would have gone over much better.
Well, at least Mark Cuban would have probably decided to put his money behind it. All right, we're going to play a game called Think Fast here on Marks in the Morning. Intern Skyscraper is here along with Carrie Mack. Intern Skyscraper, your brain all ready to go?
I think so.
All right, so the idea is whoever comes up with an acceptable answer first wins. Beyond that, I think the game will make sense if you've never heard us play it. As soon as it starts, you know what? I want something a little more dramatic this morning. Here we go. You ready? Think fast. Besides sugar, give me something you'd put in a drink that starts with the letter S.
Sweetener?
Okay. Sweetener works. Carry back. Give me a classic country band or artist that starts with the letter J.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, come on. There's one that should be right on the tip of your tongue.
Oh, no.
All right. How about Johnny Cash? June Carter Cash? Okay.
I was thinking band.
Well, I said or band. All right. Let's go. Give me an app on your phone that starts with the letter M.
Microsoft.
Oh, well, yes.
Microsoft Teams?
Okay, yeah, there you go. We do have Teams.
All of these.
Come on. Your brain's not working.
Step it up.
I'm trying to think I'm trying to come up with ones that skew a little younger. Maybe Skyscraper will get this. Give me a Snapchat filter that starts with the letter O.
Oh, geez. I haven't used Snapchat in forever.
Wow.
The Oprah Winfrey filter? I feel like that's not a thing.
All right, let's move on. Name something you might fall off of that starts with the letter B.
Bench.
There we go. Nice job. For some reason in my head, I was thinking balance beam, like if you're a gymnast, but a bench might be more likely. Give me a reason you might go to the ER that starts with the letter D.
Dismembered.
That got dark. Well, at least you didn't say dyslexic.
Oh, no.
Dyslexia. All right, I'll accept it. If, God forbid, you're dismembered, I'm guessing you're going to end up in the ER. Give me something, you'll appreciate this one, Carrie. Give me something men are bad at that starts with the letter H.
Hearing.
Okay. That's good. I like that.
What did you say, Skyscraper? All right, give me a nickname for Johnny Marks that starts with the letter D.
Ooh, I can't say that on the
air. Hey!
Dat Real Good DJ.
All right. I was thinking like Daddy Fat Chops or something. All right.
What?
Give me
I would
never. Nobody gets a point for that one. We're at 3-2. This is the last one. Intern Aaron, we call him Skyscraper. He's super tall, and I'm sitting down, so it's even worse. You need this one to force a tie. Otherwise, Carrie's our winner.
Okay.
Give me a trick you might teach your dog that starts with the letter R.
Roll over.
There you go. Nice job.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? We can't end on a tie. One more tiebreaker. Give me something loud that starts with the letter J.
Johnny Marks.
Wow, I like it. What?
Yeah.
Well done. All right, we'll be back with Nashville news in just a moment on Marks in the Morning. This event is going to stay in Nashville this coming year. It's an award show. I'll give you more info coming up in just a couple minutes. I love this. It's Marks in the Morning. It's EYB, Eli Young Band. I'm going to circle back to them in just a sec because we got tickets, a quad pod of tickets that we'll give away to go see them at the end of March. I love this comment we got. We were talking about baby names earlier. And it's a real conversation in our house because Hannah and I were, planning to have a child here in the next year or so, and we're bouncing names off each other. When you get married to somebody, you obviously discuss whether or not you're going to have kids. If you both come to an agreement, that's great. But then you have to go into the second phase of that, which is, well, obviously how many, and what are we going to name them? That's the phase we're on. Anyways, I brought up an old-fashioned name like Dot or Dottie, which my wife quickly shot down. But she brought up a few that I shot down. But anyways, we have a listener who said, we were talking about names this morning. My parents named me Candace, and I have gone by Candy my entire life. My maiden name was Kane. Say that one out loud.
Candy Cane.
Yeah, cute though.
It is cute.
I like that.
But she did go on to say I got teased a lot with my name, but I have now come to embrace it. My mom, she sent us a photo. You've got to look at this, Carrie, because it's on Facebook. I don't know, I called you Katie. I'm just going to say your name wrong.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, you. She
sent us a photo of her when she was just a little kid.
Oh, no.
She's dressed in, the photo's black and white, but she said I was dressed in red and white striped dress my entire life, or at least first day of kindergarten. Sorry. So Candy Cane, dressed like a candy cane.
When my brother and his wife were going to have their first child, they were struggling to come up with a name. It was a boy. They knew they were going to have a boy. And my brother's mother-in-law suggested the name Jarvis. For whatever reason, she liked the name Jarvis. But she did not know that at the time, we had an old deaf cat named Jarvis.
That does sound like a deaf cat
So my
name.
sister-in-law and my brother are right away like, nope, no Jarvis, because all they could think of was this old cat.
What was their reason for Jarvis, did they say?
I don't know for sure, but other than the fact that she just always liked the name Jarvis.
And also that kind of brings up a whole nother point we were talking about when pop culture, like a society kind of talks about a different name. Jarvis is the name of Tony Stark's computer in the Avengers. So imagine that kid being named Jarvis and being forced to do whatever anyone else wants him to do because he was essentially the computer butler.
Somebody I used to work with, an old coworker of mine, she's now divorced. Well, she's remarried, but when she was with her ex, they had a baby. It was a girl, but before it was a girl, they were going to name it Anakin.
No.
Like Anakin Skywalker.
That's a boy's name.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then they found out they were having a girl.
Okay.
But then they ended up having a boy. No, they didn't have a boy. She had a boy through marriage.
And they named him Vader.
No, but they were going to name him Anakin. And I thought, ooh, wow. In my head, until I got to know her better, then I said it out loud. In my head, I was thinking, ooh, thank goodness she had a girl.
Anakin goes to the dark side.
Well, not only is it kind of a weird name, but it's not like he's not a good guy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, he's really hot in the prequels, let's be honest.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, JP loves young Anakin. Ooh, is that getting you hot and bothered?
Hayden Christensen's a terrible actor, I will say that.
Yeah, I would have to go with you on that.
But he's a beautiful human being.
That's all that counts. All right, but anyways, thank you, Candy or Candice, for sending us that photo and the message. All right, Weird News Rodeo's on the way here on Marks in the Morning. Keith Urban is as well. Luke Holmes has had a heck of 4 years now. He just got named to the 2021 Time 100 Next list. That is the 100 most influential people in the world that Time puts out. The country stars made the list. I don't think they necessarily go, this is number one, this is number two. I think it's just 100 people.
And is it just a notoriety thing, or do they get a kickback out of that
I don't think so. Other than, Taste the Country has a big story on our app and website. Other than that, I don't think so. I don't think you get any money.
It's probably like Sexiest Man or Woman Alive. You get a lot of publicity for
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Yeah.
But Garth Brooks has a whole write-up on Luke Combs' success, so you can check it out on our K92.3 app. Of course, Luke recently got married to his wife, Nicole Hawking, former fiance. They got married. He's been just crushing it. And you can't find his line of Crocs anywhere. They sell out in like 20 seconds.
He has a line of Crocs?
He does.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were still a thing.
They are. I have several pairs.
Not only are they a thing, but Luke Combs, he's on like version 3 or wave 3,
Wow.
I don't know what the term is, of his Crocs. They're pretty cool. I'll show you a picture after. At least I thought the last wave was cool. They must have been for sale for maybe 15 minutes before they came out. I had to carry show and JP.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, you would wear these.
There's
These
some
are
good
very
artistry on those.
very hardcore.
No, there's rapper Post Malone, who has his own line of Crocs. Post Malone was begging to work with George Strait. George Strait hasn't said anything, but Luke Combs was like, "I'd love to work with you," and that we don't know if that'll happen. But for goodness sakes, if they don't come up with a song together, at least do a line of Crocs together. They both are into Croc. They're both big in their genres. So
does he wear these while he's on stage? You think you'd self-promote your own product? It might not.
Seen it.
It might clash with the rest of his outfit, but man, they do look comfortable.
Luke Combs, if you ever go see him live, he'll always be holding a red Solo cup filled with Miller Lite. And Miller Lite is his beer. Miller Lite pops up in a lot of his music videos. When it rains and pours comes to mind. He has he even mentions Miller. But I don't know about his footwear. I guess I haven't looked. I will look next time. We'll check it out. But congratulations to Luke Combs. I think that's pretty cool. It's Marks in the Morning on K92.3. It is about 9:15. Actually, it is 9:15. It's very cold, 3 below, but we are going to warm up here as the day rolls on. High today of 15. Yes, that's 15 degrees above zero. I know.
Double digits, baby.
Yeah. Rebecca Kopelman sent me an email this morning asking about something technical behind the scenes, and I answered her question. Then I said, thanks for the warmer weather. And she said, yeah, it's funny how much nicer people are to me when the weather's nice. I kind of feel bad because we dump on her, too, coming out of her weather sometimes, even though she's just the messenger. But that is some good news. You know what else is good news? Weird News Rodeo is on the way. What is Weird News Rodeo? It's a weird news story like you hear on every radio station, but we have a rim shot that has Howard Dean in it. From his Des Moines speech about 50 years ago, it feels like, and a whip sound effect. So, JP will have our story coming up after Luke Bryan. Here's just a quick update for you. Cedar Falls has voted to continue with free parking until August. It was April initially. We're talking about most of which is the Main Street area. Cedar Falls doesn't have a ton of paid parking, but they did suspend what few meters and such they had, or the 4-hour zones. They have a few of those. The reason why they suspended it was to encourage people to come to downtown or Main Street in Cedar Falls and spend money on the local retailers that were losing money due to the pandemic. Well, that's been extended, as mentioned, through August, which is nice. So there you go. If you're going to be hitting up Main Street, you won't have to pay for it for a while. Okay, JP, Weird News Rodeo. Let's hear it. What you got today for us?
This comes from the Seattle area where they had about their snowiest weekend in 50-some years. They had 9-10 inches.
Ooh, no
and we seem to hear about these stories in the areas where they're not used to a lot of snow, and it deals with criminals. Deputies arrived on scene, and they found a broken window in a garage and a couple sets of fresh footprints in the snow that led from the garage to a parking lot nearby where the footprints broke off from each other. There's 2 sets of footprints. Following one set of footprints, officers found that they stopped in front of a dumpster, where they looked inside the dumpster and found a guy hiding under a piece of cardboard with stolen items.
Oh, jeez.
My goodness.
All they had to do was follow the snow. So then this guy narked on the location of the other suspect, and they were both arrested for breaking into someone's garage.
They should have been arrested for sleeping or spending their time in the trash can.
Here's the thing, though. They're grown men. It's like walking in a puddle onto anywhere dry afterwards.
Yeah.
You're going to leave footprints. Did they not? Why is... I mean, there's a reason criminals get caught. They either talk about it, they brag about it, or they do something like this, leaving footprints in the snow.
My question is, were they drunk?
I hope
Or on
so.
something.
That'd be a good excuse. I mean, otherwise they have no excuse.
You know that the police have these really smart detectives that are brought in for cases that eventually become the stuff of legends, like serial killers, and they spend months, sometimes years, trying to figure out and get to the bottom of a case. And then they can have just any old, 12-year-old follow the footprints to a dumpster and find the criminal. I feel so good about, our tax dollars funding the police work that we really need. But then I also wonder, did the meter maid find them? Who did they have going to follow the footprints?
I also love how they trust each other enough to break into a garage. But then once one of them gets caught, he immediately rolls over on the other one, lets them know where they are.
Oh, my goodness.
He's in the dumpster. All right, there you go. It's Weird News Rodeo. It's Mark's in the Morning on K92.3. And we've been hearing a lot about weather in other places. Maybe the weather was just driving them nuts.
Yeah, could be.
We'll be back in just a few. Got music on the way from Tennille Hartz, a brand new song from her. It's called Somebody Like That. And also news and weather coming up. It's Mark's in the Morning. Okay, today's Ash Wednesday. Anybody in the studio giving anything up for Lent this year?
Ooh. Yes, actually, I was talking to our intern Skyscraper about this off the air. I'm giving up ordering takeout on the weekdays.
Wow.
That's a big move. I don't know if I could do that.
I couldn't do it. Does Friday count as a weekday, or is that now part of the weekend?
Well, Friday, Saturday, that's the weekend, and Sunday is always, in my house, that's always the cheat day, So
you still, so it's really 4 days out of the week that you're giving up carry out.
Yes.
Now, define carry out. Does that mean you won't also walk down the street and get something and bring it back?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Or is it just delivery?
I'm trying to just go grocery shopping and eat what I have in the fridge. I can't afford to buy all this food that I've been buying over the past few weeks.
Okay. So that's a good one.
Yeah, and it'll be healthy for me, but I want to support businesses too.
See, that's a double-edged sword. You give something up, but you also take something away.
Yeah.
So you're kind of a terrible person. Just kidding.
Are you saying I'm a monster?
No, I'm just...
you're a terrible person.
Come on, get it right, Carrie.
I'm stealing the money from people's pockets.
What about you, James? Anything?
Mine's more of a New Year's resolution, which I failed horrendously at, was to stop buying coffee so much.
Why?
Just because it's expensive. It's so much cheaper to buy it in bulk and brew it here, which I lovingly call crap coffee. When I tell Johnny, I'm like, I can go get a crap coffee because I make it myself. It's so much... It tastes so much better when I go and get it at a local business rather than me making it myself.
No, let's be honest. Sidecar.
Yes, I love Sidecar.
It's just right down the road from us. There's a few Sidecars, but the one by Young Arena is just down the road from us. I'm blanking on the street all of a sudden. But
Jefferson,
thank you. And they open at about 7 or 6. I don't remember what time. Before they open after we start the show, so I can't go. But I used to go all the time after work. That's kind of why I went, why? But I get it. Okay, so you're going to try your best to stay away from the fancier, nicer coffee.
Drink the crap coffee, I guess.
We have a Keurig machine here. If that's,
it never works. I tried it yesterday and it spit out maybe a centimeter of coffee.
It doesn't work for you?
No.
I have a coffee maker in my office. You're welcome to use it.
That's why I ended up going to Sidecar. I couldn't get it to work.
Oh. I do remember you yesterday. I had to leave for a meeting, but JP said, I'll be right back. I'm going to get coffee, and I didn't even click in my head. But I remember you saying before you were going to try to cut back.
Yeah, it's not working very well.
Yeah.
You should really cut back on the coffee because you went ham. I jumped 2 feet in the air just now.
I get so mad at our Keurig machine. It never works right. No one else has a problem with it but me, and I get so upset.
JP's got an Instagram that he doesn't use, but Carrie does.
I don't even know how to log in.
No, we once had intern Skyscraper once followed James out of the restroom, and he was washing his hands.
Yeah, which is creepy.
And then found something stuck to JP's foot. Is that still posted? I don't want to spoil it too much.
Yes, it's posted. It's still posted.
Then I won't spoil it, but right in that area, if you've ever watched that video, is where our Keurig machine is, and it's centrally located. So if you're having issues with the machine and you yell, everybody will hear you.
It's a piece of crap.
Well, I didn't want to say it, but actually I've never used that one.
Well, make sure to follow him on Instagram at thatbalddjk923 and follow me on Carrie Mack on the mic.
Carrie Mack on the mic, and that bald DJ, what was...
K92.3.
K92. Don't forget the K92.3. Otherwise, we'll get tons of other bald DJs. I'm trying to
There's a lot of us out there.
There are. And some of them are ladies. I'm trying to give up... Well, I'm sure. I'm trying to give up assumptions, apparently.
You know what happens when you assume? You look like an idiot.
Okay, well, I'm used to that. It's my perennial state of being. I'm trying to give up negativity.
Oh, that's not fair. You have to give something you really like.
That's a good one.
Thank you. I'm not taking money away from somebody.
So, as in, like, when you say negativity, just to yourself, to others?
No, I'm going to be more positive outwardly. I am a very positive person.
You are, yes.
The problem is there are times when I go down a rabbit hole of negativity, like we all do.
Sounds like a band, Rabbit Hole of Negativity.
Yeah, or that could be, you just heard Dirk Spelling. It could be a Dirk Spelling song, Rabbit Hole of Negativity. But I'm going to try to give it up and be more positive.
Well, don't have kids then.
Wow.
Well, okay.
I think we know what you really want to give up.
Carrie and I are going out for a beer. If this sounds like a broken record, Carrie and I were going to go out last night for a beer.
And the night before.
Okay. Yesterday.
You've been blowing me off.
I had an important sales meeting to be a part of, trying to put money in our pockets. And so I got back late. The night before was totally on me. But tonight we're going out, and this is the third now in a row day that we invited JP. And he's like, I have kids. Like, bring your kids.
Let Jalen have a beer.
No.
She's
Let her
14. She's not having a beer.
She can have a 1919 root beer. Almost every bar keeps that on tap. And it is good. It's if you know Shell's beer, that's where they brew it, up in
It's good to have kids because it's a way out of things, but it's bad to have kids because it's a way out of things. You can't win.
Are you just trying to blow us off?
No, I do have my kids tonight.
No.
I think we're being blown off.
I have to make them supper after work.
Supper.
I usually go to bed before they do.
Do you have to churn butter too? Is that what you do?
No, that's their job. That's their job. They have to make the fresh cream.
But cow's out back. Who's going to milk tonight? All right.
Clean the outhouse.
One of the number one things people are planning to give up, it's nationwide, not just here in Iowa. Believe it or not, in 2021, people are going to give up on diets. A lot of people said they are going to stop with diets. Yeah. They're going to do. People do plan to drink more water, drink or eat less sugar, eat more salads, blah, 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 but they are not going to diet per se. Maybe that's something you're giving up.
It's funny how just a month ago a New Year's resolution was, I'm going on a diet. Now Lent starts like, I'm stopping my diet.
Hey, I made it to President's Day.